We continue to take a look at Hurricane Milton as, Floridians there are waking up to what the damage and destruction that has been left behind. We know Milton unleashed several tornadoes before making landfall, intense rain, a lot of flooding there in the state of Florida. Taking a live look at weather conditions in Lee County, Florida. We're not seeing too much with how dark it is at this point, but we talked about those thunderstorms. They produced tornadoes near I-75 in Broward County yesterday. This is one of several tornado sightings that was reported in the area hours before the storm's landfall. Hurricane Milton's rapid intensity has even the most seasonal weather scientists in awe and shock, especially with the intensity of this storm. LSU Department of Geography and Anthropology Professor Chair Jill Trepanier. She studies extreme weather and events like tropical cyclones, and we're able to get her on this morning talking with us more about just what you all are seeing and also the impacts of the storm. Good morning. Thanks for taking time.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, so I want to talk a little bit about your, briefly, you're getting some of those reports on storm surge and the intensity of the storm. What are you all learning this morning as we're getting some of that information in?
Yeah, so first, about 3 million people are without power, which of course is terrible, but and growing. I think the number is still kind of adding up. We've more importantly seen a bit of fatalities related to those tornadoes you were just talking about on the eastern coast of Florida, actually, and that was before the storm even made landfall. I'm looking at how much rain fell. There was incredible amounts throughout St. Petersburg. People are talking the 1 in 1,000 year rain event, which I can explain if anybody's curious. And then thinking a bit about where that flooding is actually isolated. So I just received anecdotal reports from friends and family that thankfully are doing well in the region, that Fort Myers took 10 feet of storm surge. I don't know if that's true, but I'm in this process of kind of gathering information as people wake up to the light.
Absolutely. And you talked a little bit about those tornadoes. I mean, to see the imagery of those, I think it was shocking for many. It's not unheard of, but, we're talking with meteorologist Peyton Malone, who said the conditions were just right. What did Milton do that caused such intense storm with those tornadoes?
So that's a great question. Tornadoes form in environments of extra shear. And what that means is an environment where there's choppiness of the wind is what I like to tell my students, where air is flowing at different speeds in different directions. This happens normally when a storm makes landfall just because of the change in ocean water to land. Now, in the case of Milton, it was entering an environment with an incredible shear, which is what helped weaken the system, which is good news on one side, but inducing so much of that shear as it was kind of having these rain bands build across the southern area of Florida, it really led to, as you said, Peyton said, the perfect kind of conditions to produce a lot of tornadoes and somewhat severe ones. Typically in systems, we do see tornadoes form, but not large tornadoes like that image that you just showed earlier.
Yeah, we know those tornadoes caused a tree to fall in one retirement home, so hearing that there were some deaths there caused by that, which is heartbreaking. Talking about this storm specifically, and I know you all just published a report on stalling tropical cyclones, that seems to be more of a concern over the past few years.
Yeah, absolutely. So everyone kind of in recent memory, we think of Hurricane Harvey as it sat over Houston and dumped that incredible amount of rain. Milton sat over that southwestern Gulf region for a short time, but in that time really rapidly intensified. It was something like a category 1 to a 5 in 10 hours, if memory is right. And this place that it's sitting was just had the perfect conditions, I suppose, to build a system, and it really didn't move very much for those first couple of days. Then I think having those perfect conditions, or very warm ocean water, very weak shear, helped to rapidly intensify it. Now, in recent years, we have seen an increase in the number of stalls that are happening near a coastline. This is an example of that. Thankfully, it didn't actually impact a major population while it was doing that. Then, of course, it started to move and brushed over the northern peninsula, the Yucatan Peninsula, and there's damage there. And so we thankfully didn't have the major stall happen right on top of a coastline like Harvey did. Sure. So there was some saving there.
Yeah, absolutely. Tons to learn. I'm sure we could talk on this forever. We are out of time now, but we do appreciate you taking the time to talk with us and explain this a little bit more. I'm sure we'll check in again shortly. Thanks so much.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.